Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You may delete as appropriate. My name is Chad Landman. Welcome back to Landman EDC. Are we in the golden age of multi-tools right now? I would argue yes, because there's not just expensive multi-tools, and there's not just very, very cheap multi-tools that are usually bad. There's a whole mid-range that we need to talk about, and we're going to look at some of those today from Nextool, Roxon, SOG, and of course, we will talk about Leatherman, all in today's video. So let's talk about it. My name is Chad Lemon, and I talk about knives, tools, and EDC items on the channel here. And if you find value from what I'm doing, please consider subscribing and liking the video. I don't have a membership program, but I would let you buy me a coffee. You can check those links below to send a one-time gift my way. Every dollar gets reinvested back into the channel. Thanks for being here. Now back to the video. All right, so the gold standard in multi-tools, at least right now, as of filming this in September 2024, is the Leatherman Arc. Now, I was fortunate to be able to get this at a severe discount. And I mean a very, very good discount. Thank you to Marine X and a bunch of other people that told me that I could go to the military exchange store and get this bad boy for $153 tax-free. Now, for the rest of you, this is an MSRP of $230. And we're not going to focus on the Leatherman Arc today. There's a million videos out there. Go check out Max Level EDC's channel. He has way more and much better content on multi-tools than I ever thought about it. And so very, very good on his channel. Go check that out. So we're not going to focus on the Leatherman Arc, but it is probably, and to use a pun, the gold standard in the multi-tool world. However, it does come with a gold, almost gold price tag at $230 MSRP. So if you factor in taxes, if you're having to pay taxes for that at something like a big box store like Cabela's or something, you're probably looking at $245, $250 out the door for a multi-tool. Now granted, it is the best out there right now, I would argue. There are other options, and that is why I have said that this is the golden age, because we have so much choice right now with multi-tools in particular. And I'll be honest with you as well, I have not ever really been a multi-tool kind of guy until recently. And so we're going to talk today about a couple of tools from Roxon and Nextool, as well as from Rake and, of course, Leatherman. We're going to talk about the SOG Power Pint for just a minute. And so we'll talk about all those here in the video today. So again, the Leatherman Arc, if you are a military veteran and you can sign in through ID.me, you can get a discount on this. I got this for $153. No taxes, delivered to my door. Amazing, amazing stuff for a multi-tool. It's not a steal at $153, but it's definitely a deal at $153 for this multi-tool. So I bet you a lot of you would pay $153 where you wouldn't pay $240 for this multi-tool. So again, not everyone is going to be built like this. What you had previously until the last probably maybe few years, as I understand it, you had a really, really cheap set of multi-tools, the Walmart multi-tools, the really cheap, $20, $30 multi-tools that probably weren't worth $20 or $30, and they were probably really, really bad. And then you had the super high-end. You had the $90, $100, $150, $200 multi-tools from things like Leatherman, and Leatherman has always been the standard in multi-tools. However, I am not going to crown a Leatherman killer today or a Leatherman Arc killer today. What I am going to do is give you some options, some economic options for multi-tools today. And so firstly, we're going to be looking at a smaller multi-tool, the Nextool Mini Sailor. The Nextool Mini Sailor is a really neat little multi-tool. Technically, you could say it's a keychain multi-tool, and so you could put this on a keychain. It's got a little loop for a keychain, but you open it up. This is the pliers version, and it's got a good, nice set of sprung pliers, and so they do spring back out. They do have a good joint on them here, and so you can see some of the oil coming off on that. But it's got a number of tools that make this thing worthwhile. And so you've got, when you pull it out here, you've got a flathead screwdriver. And again, this is a small flathead screwdriver, but I have been using this actually quite a lot in my job because sometimes I just need a small flathead screwdriver for that kind of stuff. You've got a Phillips head on the other side screwdriver. And again, still small, but it's still incredibly usable. And so these don't lock into place. You can actually just put them back. That may be a minus or a plus for you depending on what you are going to need. And then you got a tiny little notch here to where you can pull out the scissors, and the scissors deploy in a very interesting way. So you push, it says push right here, and they've even given you, I love this right here, they've even given you a little QR code that you can actually scan with your phone and check out the operation of this. So that's pretty cool. So you actually deploy the scissors this way, and the scissors are, they're not fantastic, but they're not bad. I got some 550 cord here, paracord for the rest of you, and it does take a little bit of force, and you do have, it is a little tough on the grip there on your thumb, but it does clip. Ugh, you got to put a little force on it. There you go. It does clip right through paracord, and so highly scientific paracord test there you've got, and it will clip through those. So a very decent, very good pair of scissors, Victorinox quality scissors there. And so you just push that back in right here, and that is on that side. On this side, you've got a regular blade, a sheep's foot blade. I don't know what kind of steel this one is on, and the factory edge is, it's okay, but again, you're not going to be using this necessarily for super high definition tasks or anything like that. So it's got a good little blade on it. And then on the other side right here, a can opener and a bottle opener. This could also be used as a scraper, a little bit of a scraper tool if you wanted to use that as well. These are available in blue and black. I've got the blue version here, and I kind of like the aesthetic. It's kind of got that, I kind of think it's like the Halo aesthetic, you know, it's kind of looks like a little tool that you might use in Halo. The pliers are actually very decent. You've got, even got a mini cutter down here, kind of a mini wire, a wire plier down here if you wanted to use that as well. And this is going to be really good for tightening up very, very small bolts, especially in a, if you work in the tech field, if you work in computers or anything like that. The next tool, multi-tool here, the Mini Sailor, is going to be, I think, pretty decent for you. And the best part about this is that this is $26. I think at $26, this is a very good value. Small multi-tool with all these tools that you have in place, plus a small pair of pliers that you have on you at any time. I think that's incredibly valuable. This could be a good coin pocket multi-tool for you if you don't want to carry a full-size multi-tool. And it's good for smaller things around the house, tech applications, different things like that. So the next tool, Mini Sailor. All right, so one of these Roxons I purchased at Blade Show this year, and one of these were sent to me by Roxon because I was able to establish a relationship with them. And so I really appreciate them sending the KS2E, and I might transpose those letters. Just know I'm talking about the KS2E. It's the KS2 Elite. And it has, let's go ahead and open her up here, a D2 knife blade on it, just a regular kind of drop point knife blade on it, and it does lock. And so it's a really nice little thing. You got micarta scales, or excuse me, not micarta, you've got G10 here on the outside. It's a G10 handle. This has 13 different functions in addition to the knife. You've got a belt clip here. Now, this is a little chunky boy. I don't know if you can see exactly how wide it is here. And the only difference on the website is the KS2E comes with the D2 steel blade. So let's pull that blade out again. And it's got a nice little thumb tab right there so you can open it up. I think that's pretty nice. It's very reminiscent of something that you would have on a bigger size of the Leatherman Arc here. Of course, you got a MagnaCut blade on the Leatherman Arc, and that's what you're paying for. You're paying for all the quality materials, but you've got D2. D2, if it's heat treated correctly, is not a bad steel. In fact, it's a good workhorse steel, and for $40, actually it's $37.99 on this multi-tool, that's not bad at all. And so you've got a locking D2 blade, push that in, Put that back in there. The cool, funkiest thing about this is that you've got a rocker switch right here to where you can bring out a couple of tools. So you have you have a file combined on a crosshatch on one side and then a ruler on the other side with a small, it looks like a pretty good small Phillips bit on the other side of it. And I dig that. I have actually used this, and again, these lock into place. So that's always a positive for me, is locking into place. On some of the smaller multi-tools like the one that we talked about in Next Tool, those are not locking into place, but I'm not doing really hard things with those. But here you've got an awl, and then you've got the combo scraper, can opener, multi-tool kind of thing right here. You can also use this. This is actually a sharp edge right here, where some can openers don't have a sharp edge. They just have kind of a blunt edge. This actually has a nice little sharp edge as well. And so those kind of just fall back into place right there. Now, it is an interesting trick with this to get these back in. To put this last one back in here, you've got to lock it kind of like a slide lock here, and then you just push that back in right there. And so kind of an interesting setup there. I'm not sure I'm overly fond of it, but it does give you that nice clean look when it's closed. So I guess I'm all about the aesthetics of that. Here's where this gets really funky, and I love this right here. You pull this out right here, and you think, well, what is this thing? And what is going on with this right here? You actually have tweezers right here at the end of this, but let me pull this out and show you the entire thing. So if you pull it out, it becomes a really big, usable pair of scissors. Now, I don't think you thought that that was hiding in there, unless you know what this multi-tool does and you've seen it before. You may have not realized that that whole thing is inside of there. That's kind of nuts. And so this is a pretty good size scissors here that I really like. Let's try the, of course, the paracord test on here. And oh, it's very good. It's very good. They're clipping away at these. Usually, if I can do one clip with that, and I'm not putting a lot of force on this as well. So these are nice and sharp scissors, and they're going to give you plenty of leverage. That's a lot. I'm not putting a lot of force on it, but it's going to give you plenty of leverage on that paracord to cut different ties, cut different things like that. So a very good pair of scissors on the Roxon KS2E. And this is the Elite version, of course, with the D2 steel blade, but you can get the 5CR 15 MOV blade, and you can actually cut that down to $29.90. Now, what you don't get if you pay the extra $12 or so, so you've got $29.90 just for this thing in the 5CR blade, but if you upgrade to the D2 blade, you get a carrying case. I believe you might get a carrying case with both of them, but you get a carrying case, and they give you a bit set. How cool is that? Now, it's not the super most high quality bit set, but you can see here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bits with an adapter, actually 9 bits with an adapter. And so kind of a really cool set right here. And so you may be wondering about these bits. How in the world do you use them? There's nowhere to really put them and whatnot. Well, what you do is you take the adapter that they provided you here with, and you slide it over that. And then, so I'm going to go ahead and lock this bad boy into place right here. So that's locked into place. You put the adapter over it, and again, it's not really magnetic. It kind of slides off. I don't like that. I wish there was some magnetic properties there. And so if I want to get let's go ahead and do like the Torx bit here. If I get a Torx bit in here, that's going to give me a driver that I can use. And how cool is that? That's absolutely really neat. So you've got a bit set here. This is almost a really mini size multi-tool that you could use for just about anything that is a small little job as well. And so I really dig the KS2E, and they give you this little carrying case, and you can fit your bits back in the back. And then of course you lock this right here, unlock that, put it right in here. You've got a belt clip, but I kind of like this carrying case even more. So that is the Roxon KS2E Elite. And of course I got the one with the D2 blade, but if you want to save a couple of bucks, you can actually go and get this under $30. Thanks so much to Roxon for sending the KS2 Elite here. Really appreciate them doing that. Of course, you can find all the links in the description below. There also will be some product links. YouTube is doing this new product thing. And so if you click on those, I get even a bigger piece of the pie and you support the channel a little bit more, and you'll probably end up saving some money at another website, maybe like a Walmart or a Newegg website or something like that. The one that I purchased that I want to go over here, the Roxon M4. I thought this was a really cool, interesting little pocket tool, and I liked what I saw on the leather, the kind of the faux leather look that they have here, but also kind of your minimalist look on the outside. You got two bolts right here, but it's all self-contained, a lot like the KS2E here. Roxon really likes that kind of look to where it's just a rectangle and you hide all the tools inside of it. I think their engineering is really, really neat on that. But the M4 has just a couple of things going for it. And again, I purchased this with my own money and I was able to meet one of the reps there, and it's really cool. But you pop the multi-tools out using this little plastic rocker switch right here. So you pop those out and you've got a set of 4 different tools here. You've got a pair of scissors. We'll check those on the test here in a minute. You've got a regular kind of a drop point blade. You've got a file on one side, a Phillips head screwdriver, and then of course a ruler on the other side. I don't really know exactly how functional the ruler is going to be, like how much you're going to use that, but in a pinch, if you need to measure very, very small distances, like I need to do actually sometimes to figure out putting computers and different thing cases together, that's good. And then you got a scraper / bottle opener tool right here that you can do. So you have to push this down. There's another plastic tab on the other side where the fingernail clippers are that you have to push down. It's a little awkward to deploy, but it's really, really nice actually. So you've got some scissors here, and these are, they're not sprung. As far as I can tell, as far as I'm not doing anything the right way here, but they're not sprung into place. And so it's going to be a little bit difficult to cut with those. And they kind of don't, they're not incredibly sharp. They're not great. You have to kind of force them and they don't lock into place. I don't know. I'm just not finding what I need to find with these scissors. And so the scissors, that is such a bummer that the scissors aren't really awesome on these, because if they were, then I could recommend this wholeheartedly as all the tools on it. But as it stands, I actually bought this because I'm constantly having to trim up my nails. This is a really good nail clipper. If you've seen the Monkeys nail clippers on Amazon, this is a copy of them. So you push the little button here and it springs it out, and then you've got some nail clippers that you can use right there. Actually, these nail clippers are actually fantastic. And so if you've got nails like mine that just grow like crazy, my hair and my nails, they grow like crazy. I don't know, TMI, you didn't need to know that. And I really actually enjoy this little multi-tool. This little multi-tool was not very expensive at all. The M4 is only going to run you $24 MSRP. And so check it out. Of course, check it out in the links below, and we move on. Okay, so before we get to the talking about the familiars and the SOG and the Leatherman here, I did want to spotlight one brand that I really thought was interesting, and this is Rake. It's spelled R-U-I-K-E, and I picked this up at Blade Show, and this is the S31B. Now, on Amazon, this comes out to it's like a 6-in-1 multi-tool, I believe they call it. But it's kind of got this slip joint. I really like the texture of the micarta here. And it's got 12C27 stainless steel on here. So, but it is Sandvik steel. And so really, really good as just a nice little slip joint here. But also you've got another tool that you can pull out, a bottle opener, a flathead screwdriver, and then a cord, kind of a cord cutter type right here. Let's see if it cuts really good. We'll do a little test right here and see what we can get. So you usually would cut something like this, and so yeah, that cuts pretty good. You have to get a little bit of force on it, but that cuts. That's a rope cutter. Cuts very nicely, as a matter of fact. So you've got a flathead cutter right here, and then a bottle opener, of course. And then what you've got, you can pull out the scissors. Now let's see about the scissors. The scissors are sprung, And I think I tried these scissors one time. They're not really sharp, which is a big bummer. I feel like I could sharpen these. See, you gotta push. Yeah, it's not doing very well on the scissors. Again, the scissors, and Max Level EDC will say this so many times, the scissors on a multi-tool will make or break it. And he's not wrong. And I really think that's it. If the scissors were on this, this would be incredible. As it stands, it's a fairly good little multi-tool. And of course, it's only got a few tools in it, but it's incredibly compact. And I really like the design and the color. And you could actually use this as a small, kind of a limited multi-tool as well. This is from Rake, and this is called the S31B. And of course, we have to talk about the familiars. I have featured these on a lot of other different videos on the channel. And a lot of people have talked about the SOG Power Pint. Now, this is mine. This one is incredible. This is probably my vote for best multi-tool that $50 can buy. And so you've got a awesome action right here when it's got these gear things right here that kind of turn it out, and it's just so smooth. You've got cutters and pliers, but you've also got a crimping tool here on the inside that you could use to kind of crimp something if you really needed to, like on a wire. This is why these are so incredibly beneficial for me, is because I'm working with electronics and wiring and stuff, not doing so much camping and outdoorsy stuff, but wire tools and things like that, really good. And so you've got a file here, a crosshatch file, and then you've got a regular kind of file on the other side. And it's got a neat little hook on the inside to where you could hook something to that if you needed to. Then you've of course got a cutter tool and a scraping tool right here, kind of an all-shaped design. Then you've got a very small jeweler's flathead screwdriver. You kind of have that on the Leatherman Arc here. When you pull it out, you've got a small, very small interchangeable bit system here that you can turn it around and get a flathead or a jeweler's screwdriver on it. And then you've got that all, and I'm saying AWL, all, I can't really say it with my southern accent necessarily. And then kind of this sheep's foot blade right here that's again decently sharp. And so you've got a couple of tools on that side. On this side, you've got a pair of scissors. Now these scissors, we'll go ahead and test these out on the official. These are a little bit, they don't feel like they're initially like they're sprung, but they are. They've got that spring right there, and they don't feel like it. I have used these several different times. So this is the one we tried out on the Rake. And you're not gonna have a big cutting area. You're not gonna be able to allow it's not opening very much. So you're not gonna have a big opening to do a lot here with, so you kind of have to slide it in there. And these scissors are just, again, they're probably kind of dull because I have used these over the last few years. And so, but they will cut eventually, just not very good, and they probably need to be sharpened. And so you've got a nice belt clip or pocket clip here, and then you've got a regular kind of scraper tool and bottle opener. You've got a Phillips head screwdriver, and then of course you've got your other can opener / bottle opener tool. I don't know why they have two kind of bottle opener tools there, but who knows. But the thing that I use this the most for is the really nice pliers, because they're very easy to deploy. Kind of like the Next Tool ones, they're almost as quick to deploy. They don't really snap into place. I wish they did snap into place, but this movement is so smooth that it's kind of like its own fidget toy. These are just pretty incredible. And so for pound, $50, what you get here, the SOG Power Pint, I think, is a really good value. And if you can catch it at any kind of discount, it's going to be even more of a value for you as well. My first multi-tool that I ever bought, my first Leatherman multi-tool that I ever bought, was the free T4. We'll go over this briefly as we're getting to the conclusion of the video. But this has a very nice drop point blade there. It's got this lever system and magnetic closure on it, and I really kind of dig that. You push these points right here to deploy the tools. You've got a awesome flathead screwdriver right here. This flathead screwdriver slash scraper is actually really nice. You can actually use the next file as a smaller flathead screwdriver, which I really like because sometimes you just need a bigger flathead, and this one actually does the job fairly well. So you've got a crosshatch file on one side and a regular file on the other. And again, magnetic closure on those. You've got tucked inside here, you've got a little set of tweezers. Again, these tweezers are nothing special. They're what you find on every Victorinox. And then on the other side, you've got a pair of scissors. You've got an awl with also again, a small tiny little flathead that you could use as a scraper tool. And it's got a little bit of a sharp blade on the edge of it right here. But then you've got a nice bottle opener, which this bottle opener is actually really good. I don't know why it's better than some of the others, and then you've got a Phillips head screwdriver on this. So these scissors are sprung, and they are, well, let's see if we can find another one here. They are not as good as you might think. Not as good as you might think. In fact, if I put, this is a $75 tool. If I put the Roxon scissors up against, now granted, you're going to have this, you know what, that's not a fair fight. That's not a fair fight because these are so much bigger. Again, cheaper though, I can just clip those off. Amazing on the Roxon. But on these little bitty, what should be sharp scissors on the side of the Leatherman T4, they're just not cutting 550 cord. 550 cord, paracord might not be the best test of these things, but it's a really good test to see if it's going to cut through not only an outer layer, but of course those inner layers of the little the fibers and stuff right there that you can see. And so, I don't know, the scissors, again, make or break. They make or break a tool. If they had super nice scissors, I would be carrying this. So out of all these multi-tools, which one am I carrying the most? Well, I will confess to you that I am carrying the KS2E the most. It has been fantastic. The scissors are fantastic. The bit set, it's nice and compact. It weighs half of what the Leatherman Arc does. And I continue to have the Leatherman Arc as basically my toolkit in my car. And the pliers on here are not sprung. Now, I wish I had a set of pliers on the K2 SE. But you obviously can't fit everything in there. So the scissors are going to have to do. And I just find that the scissors on this, again, $30 multi-tool right here, $37 if you get the D2 steel blade version with the bit set. Fantastic. I cannot get over just how fantastic the Roxon is, and really appreciate them sending that out. I do want to say they did send this out to me. Of course, I said that at the beginning of the video, but they did send it out to me, Roxon, and they are to be commended for really good stuff. Now, there are a lot of other good options out there for multi-tools. These are not, by no means is this comprehensive, and these are not the only options that you have. But these are just some of the options that I have been using over the past few months and years, and I just wanted to share them with you today. So thank you so much for being here on the video. Again, go check out channels that know a whole lot more about multi-tools. I will confess, I don't know a ton about multi-tools, and so there's many more knowledgeable channels, Max Level EDC, HVAC Budget, even, you know, Taylor over at his channel, they know a lot more about multi-tools than I do, and so really, really nice to be able to talk about some of them. Anyway, go check them out. Really appreciate you being here today. And again, I want to, at the end of the video, I want to say, if you want to talk about religious topics, if you want to talk about the Bible especially, I would love to chat with you about that. DM me below. Email me at my channel email there. You can find it on my channel page. Find me on Instagram. I'm Chad Landman on Instagram, and I share a bunch of stuff over there. You should go ahead and go follow me there. But if you want to talk about the Bible, if you want to talk about Jesus or any of those types of religious topics, if you just want me to pray for you, I mean, I can do that as well. I would love to pray for you. So if you got a prayer request, put it down below. Put it in the comments, direct message me, whatever you would like to do. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Like, subscribe, help us out here on the channel, and really appreciate you being here. Have a great week.